I really don't like being the bearer of bad news, but at least today I get to give you at least 1% chance of hope in regards to the bad news we'll be discussing today. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty. Hopefully you're having a great Saturday afternoon. And in today's video, I got not one, not two, but three different things of note to discuss. For starters, if you're like me, and you were hoping before the final games list got revealed at Gamescom a few days ago that we would get the N64 version of Trilogy in the MK Legacy Collection, well, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you because according to Digital Eclipse, when asked directly, they've now given a response that claims they're not focused on that version of Trilogy at this point in time. So, you know, bittersweet. Like I said, the door's not completely shut, but if we're all about preserving the legacy of Mortal Kombat, like, that version has an exclusive character in Chameleon. Lady Chameleon is only on the N64 build of Trilogy, so I was hoping, really hoping, if not at launch, maybe in the future as DLC, and again, seems like there's at least some type of chance for that we get that version in the Legacy Collection, but according to them, that's just not the focus. And I do think it's interesting because you guys do know, especially if you watched my video from last night, when they're being asked about Mortal Kombat Gold, they keep copying and pasting the exact same blanket statement. They give the dates, they give the consoles, and they just won't directly respond to, hey, we're not gonna give you Mortal Kombat Gold, or hey, that's not the focus at this point in time. And funny enough, I pulled out not one, but two tweets in my video from yesterday from two different Digital Eclipse devs, head honcho Stephen Frost, head up marketing Dan Amrick, and in Dan Amrick's response to like them acknowledging and hearing our demands, aka the community's desire to get Mortal Kombat Gold, I completely overlooked it, but it seems like maybe, just maybe, Dan Amrick might have been teasing Gold because, well, he mentioned dreaming of the future, which is almost 100% a reference to the Dreamcast. And I completely missed that, and it's been pointed out a few times in my comment section. So I do think it's interesting how today, this morning, they directly respond when asked about that certain version of Trilogy, yet they can't just come out and say, yeah, we can't give you the Dreamcast version of Gold because of this reason, this reason, this reason. That makes me think, though we're not getting Trilogy N64, we probably might have a pretty decent chance at getting Gold down the line in the future because, I mean, we're all asking for it. And if it was not gonna happen, you would think, just like I'm about to show you guys when asked about the N64 version of Trilogy, they'd come out and just be like, yeah, it's not the focus at this point in time. Why aren't they hitting that head on? We're either getting it or we're not getting it, and they just don't want to talk about us not getting it. I don't know. Third topic of the day, though, Stephen Frost actually gave us a nice confirmation that UMK3 WaveNet is not going to be online only in the Legacy Collection. So you can actually play against the CPU, you can play locally with your friends. That's a big thumbs up. So before I break all this stuff down, you guys do know the drill. It takes you a second. If you can, please drop a like on the video because without you, these Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection videos do not happen. So with that said, let's start breaking down the topics of the day. And like I said, at least this time around, the door is not completely shut, but I just think it's so odd how they'll directly respond when asked about this game, yet they won't do that about Gold. I don't know, it just makes me think like Gold is probably still possible. So here we go. Right here, MK Champion 1 on X says, any chance for a N64 version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy? And the response we get from Digital Eclipse is, we are not focused on that at this time. I mean, at least they didn't say just flat out no, but that makes me feel like if we're getting N64 Trilogy, it's not even close to being worked on. It's not even close to being done. I hope I'm wrong, but I figured I should probably give you guys a heads up on this because I know some of you guys are still holding out hope that maybe next week's event at PAX West, they could have revealed maybe some more versions of these games that are already confirmed, a la Trilogy on the N64. But with them saying this, really does seem like next week's reveal probably will be like the digital release date. And at this point, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping maybe the PS1 build of MK4, just so we could have a lot of the features in that version that weren't in the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 4. So unfortunately, if you were holding out hope for this being confirmed or revealed in next week's PAX West Combat Tour date, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen because we are not focused on that at this time. So again, who's to say if this goes well? And I mean, I'm buying like 5 copies of this, and I know a lot of people that are as well. I think it's going to sell a lot better than a lot of the other collections that Digital Eclipse has made. Who's to say this just, you know, becomes DLC in like a year? I mean, I think it could happen. That's something that Digital Eclipse does in all their collections. They always have, you know, DLC like that. And again, this is from the arcade era. It's Trilogy. You gotta give us Chameleon, man. Like, little secrets and things like that, exclusive stuff, that's the stuff that gets lost over time. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff worth preserving. Which is why I'm even talking about this, because maybe somebody watches this and realizes, like, yes, I want to see that. Give it to me. Now, in regards to the UMK3 WaveNet build in the Legacy Collection being able to be played offline and locally, MK Dookie says, will the WaveNet version have 2-player local compatibility, single player only, any online multiplayer support for this version? And Steven says, for sure, there is your standalone typical single player, 2-player mode when it wasn't in WaveNet mode in case it couldn't connect to the network. So, boom! Seems like at the very least, you have confirmation of offline mode. I think it's safe to assume that UMK3 WaveNet can be played online. I feel like that's a guarantee. I would be shocked if you couldn't. The fact that I have to even say this. Steven, you should have just said yes to everything. But yes, you can play it offline. Now, last but certainly not least, shout out to Dan Amrich. We mentioned this yesterday. He came out and said all Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection games revealed. It's focused on the arcade era, but we know everybody has a different entry point and would like to revisit other games too. All requests have been heard, but we need to focus on making this as awesome as possible before we go dreaming of the future. Dreaming of the future. Now, initially, when I first showcased this yesterday, I just took it for face value, but some of you guys are pointing out in the comment section, you can see here as well, Total MK, dreaming of the future. It really does seem like that word choice kind of implies, like, if this goes well, maybe in the next year or so, Mortal Kombat Gold via DLC. It would suck because it wouldn't be on disc on the cartridge, but at this point, man, I'll take it. I'll take my game key card Mortal Kombat Gold versus having to get a physical copy, emulate it, etc. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I think this is good news because, again, this is like a subliminal tease. It seems like, again, from what I'm gathering in regards to this being something that could happen in the future. But we just gotta wait and see. Again, I keep mentioning it seems like they got the green light for the Legacy Collection. Who knows how long ago? Was it a year ago? Was it a year and a half ago? It feels like they've been crunching ever since it got greenlit, and they're just trying their damnedest to give us as much content as they can before the game gets released. I think that's also kind of why it seems like the digital release dropped from 9:30 to 10:30. Maybe they needed that extra month because, again, we got confirmation after people spoke to Digital Eclipse at EVO. Things like the online play weren't even working on, like, the Switch 2 build of the Legacy Collection. So there's a lot of stuff they still need to iron out just to get this out the fucking door. You know, emulating Dreamcast, it's probably on the back burner, not because it's necessarily hard, but the man hours, the resources, and the time to get it done. We'll see what happens, but yeah, some of you guys are pointing this out to me in the comment section. In particular, massive shout out to Fatality V2 UK who first pointed this out. completely overlook that you might be onto something, and I think that might be their way to subliminally tell us, like, we hear you, we're aware, we can't come out and be like, we're working on it, because obviously they probably want that to be a surprise. They probably don't want to say they're working on it, because then for the next year and a half, however long it takes to get that, we're going to be clamoring and bothering them like, so, when's Gold coming out? And they probably don't want that added pressure and expectation. So I think all they could really do is what Dan Amrich did and just give us that small, subtle tease. They know it's a priority. It's honestly genius, because if you ever needed DLC for the Legacy Collection, Gold's perfect, because unanimously it's the one game all of us want. Now, is it going to cost us money? I hope not. I hope it's free. If it's $5, that's cool. Hopefully I don't gotta drop like $20 for it, especially because, again, it'll be DLC only. It's not gonna be on the cartridge. But yes, dreaming of the future makes me think that there's more of a chance we get Gold than N64 Trilogy at this point in time. I just think it's so weird how they'll directly respond to this request, but they won't directly respond to anybody asking about Gold. Why is that? You guys have heard my tinfoil hat theories in the comment section below. I want to hear yours. But guys, that's all I got for y'all today. N64 Trilogy is not the focus. Seems like Dan might have been teasing Gold in the future as DLC, which is a big thumbs up if that's the case. And Steven confirming that you can play WaveNet UMK3 offline again. Want to hear everything you guys have to say about this in the comment section. If you enjoyed, though, takes you a second, drop a like on it, subscribe to some more MK content like this on the channel. Till next time, been your host, been Dynasty. Guys, please take care, stay safe. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. And hopefully this is not as bad news as some of the other stuff we've broken over the past couple of weeks. I feel like, though they're confirming we're not getting it at least for the foreseeable future, at least the door's kind of open. Maybe one day it'll be the focus, right? But I feel like we all know what the focus is. It's Gold. They know that's gonna sell like hotcakes. They know it. They know people like you and I who are gonna buy this game like 5 times will probably dish out like $5 for that, because if you want a physical on the Dreamcast, you gotta drop like $50. Or you could just burn a CD. If anybody wants to burn me a CD, let me know. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Stepping on it crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count all these racks, I'll be steady.